Morning. Happy Thursday. How is everybody today? I'm sorry I'm running about a half hour late, but I'm here. I wouldn't forget you. And everyone that has been sending me such amazing messages and the positive response, I wanted to thank you all for coming on with me in the morning, spending some time with, mornings with a mystic, having a cup of coffee with me, and listening to something that is very uplifting and peaceful. And I'm hoping that by me sharing this with you every morning, that I'm expanding your line of sight, bringing you a little bit of peace, maybe a little bit of calm, and a little bit of joy when you start, broadening how you're looking at things and allowing yourself to feel and have hope for the day to come. So, today it's Mornings with the Mystic once again, and the Tao of Pooh. And the chapter we're on today is chapter number 3, and it is entitled Spelling Tuesday. Through copse and spinney marched the bear, down open slopes of gorse and heather, over rocky beds of streams, up steep banks of sandstone, into the heather again. So at last, tired and hungry, to the 100-acre wood. For it was in the 100-acre wood that Owl lived. And if anyone knows anything about anything, said Bear to himself, it's Owl who knows something about something. He said, or my name's not Winnie-the-Pooh. He said, which it is, he added. So there they are. So now we come to Owl's house, as some of us have so many times before, searching for answers to questions of one sort or another. Will we find the answers here? Before we go in and take a look around, it seems appropriate to have a few background remarks about the kind of scholar that Owl represents, in relation to the attitudes and principle of Taoism that we are concerned with here. To begin with, it is necessary to point out that in China, scholars were genuinely Confucianists in training and orientation, and therefore often spoke a somewhat different language from the Taoists, who tended to see Confucianist scholars as busy ants spoiling the picnic of life, rushing back and forth to pick up the bits and pieces dropped from above. In the final section of the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu wrote, "The wise are not learned, the learned are not wise," an attitude shared by countless Taoists before and since. From the Taoist point of view, while the scholar's intellect may be useful for analyzing certain things, deeper and broader matters are beyond its limited reach. The Taoist writer worded it in this way: a well frog cannot imagine the ocean, nor can a summer insect conceive of ice. How then can a scholar understand the Tao? He is restricted by his own learning. It seems rather odd somehow that the Taoism, the way of the whole man, the true man, the spirit man, to use a few of the Taoist terms, is for the most part interpreted here in the West by the scholarly owl, by the brain, the academician, the dry as dust, absent-minded professor. Far from reflecting the Taoist ideal of wholeness and independence, this incomplete and unbalanced creature divides all kinds of abstract things into little categories and compartments, while remaining rather helpless and disorganized in his daily life. Rather than learn from Taoist teachers and from direct experience, he learns intellectually and indirectly from books. And since he doesn't usually put Taoist principles into practice in an everyday sort of way, His explanations of them tend to leave out some other important details, such as how they work and where you can apply them. On top of that, it is very hard to find any of the spirit of Taoism in the lifetime writings of the humorless academic mortician, whose bleached-out scholarly dissertations contain no more of the character of Taoist wisdom than does the typical wax museum. But that is the sort of thing we can expect from the abstract owl, the dried-up Western descendant of the Confucius-dedicated scholar, who, unlike his noble but rather unimaginative ancestor, thinks he has some sort of monopoly on. "What's that?" Pooh interrupted. "What's what?" I asked. "What you just said. The Confucianist? Desiccated scholar?" "Well, let's see. The Confucianist, desiccated scholar, is one who studies knowledge for the sake of knowledge, and who keeps what he learns to himself or to his own small group, writing pompous and pretentious papers that no one else can understand, rather than working for the enlightenment of others. How's that?" "Much better," said Pooh. "Owl is about to illustrate the Confucianist desiccated scholar," I said. "I see," said Pooh. Which brings us back to Owl. Let's see. How did Rabbit describe the situation with Owl? Oh, here it is. You can't help respecting anybody who can spell Tuesday, even if he doesn't spell it right. But spelling isn't everything. There are days when spelling Tuesday simply doesn't count. By the way, Pooh, how do you spell Tuesday?" "Spell what?" asked Pooh. "Tuesday. You know, Monday, Tuesday." "My dear Pooh," said Owl, "everybody knows that it's spelled with a 2. "Is it?" asked Pooh. "Of course," said Owl. "After all, it's the second day of the week." "Oh, is that the way it works?" asked Pooh. "All right, Owl," I said. "Then what comes after Tuesday?" "Thursday," said Owl. "Owl, you're just confusing things," I said. "This is the day after Tuesday, and it's not Thursday. I mean Thursday." "Then what is it?" asked Owl. "It's today," squeaked Piglet. "My favorite day," said Pooh. "Ours too." We wonder why the scholars don't think much of it. Perhaps it's because they confuse themselves thinking about other days so much. Now one rather annoying thing about scholars is that they are always using big words that some of us just simply can't understand. "Well," said Owl, "the customary procedure in such cases is as follows." "What does crustamony proceed cake mean?" said Pooh. For I am a bear of very little brain, and long words bother me. "It means the thing to do." "As long as it means that, I don't mind," said Pooh humbly. And one sometimes gets the impression that those intimidating words are there to keep us from understanding. That way, the scholars can appear superior and will not likely be suspected of not knowing something. After all, from the scholarly point of view, it's practically a crime not to know everything. But sometimes the knowledge of the scholar is a bit hard to understand because it doesn't seem to match up with our own experience of things. In other words, knowledge and experience do not necessarily speak the same language. But it isn't the knowledge that comes from experience more valuable than knowledge that comes from, but it isn't the knowledge that comes from experience more valuable than knowledge that doesn't. It seems fairly obvious to some of us that a lot of scholars need to go outside and sniff around, walk through the grass, talk to the animals, that sort of thing. Lots of people talk to animals, said Pooh. Maybe, but not very many listen, though, he said. That's the problem, he added. In other words, you might say that there is more to knowing than just being correct. As the mystical poet Han Shan wrote, a scholar named Wang laughed at my poems. The accents are wrong, he said. Too many beats, the meter is poor, the wording impulsive. I laugh at his poems as he laughs at mine. They read like the words of a blind man describing the sun. Quite often, struggling like a scholar over relatively unimportant matters can make one increasingly confused. Pooh described the Confucianist state of mind quite accurately. On Monday, when the sun is hot, I wonder to myself a lot. Now, is it true or is it not that what is which and which is what? On Tuesday, when it hails and snows, the feeling on me grows and grows, that hardly anybody knows if those are these or these are those. On Wednesday, when the sky is blue and I have nothing else to do, I sometimes wonder if it's true that who is what and what is who. On Thursday, when it starts to freeze and hoarfrost twinkles on the trees, how very readily one sees that these are whose, but whose are these. On Friday, yes, who are these anyway, to the desecrated scholars? Putting names on things is the most vital activity in the world. Tree, flower, dog. But don't ask them to prune the tree, plant the flower, or take care of the dog, unless you enjoy unpleasant surprises. Living, growing things are beyond them, it seems. Now, scholars can be very useful and necessary in their own dull and amusing way. They provide a lot of information. It's just that there is something more, and that something more is what life is really all about. Oops, said Pooh. Have you seen my other pencil? I saw Owl using it a little while ago, said Pooh. Oh, here it is. What's this? Aardvarks and their aberrations. Beg pardon? Said Pooh. Aardvarks and their aberrations. What Owl was writing about. Oh, were they? Said Pooh. Say this pencil's all chewed up. One more funny thing about knowledge, that of the scholar, the scientist, or anyone else. It always wants to blame the mind of the uncarved block, what it calls ignorance, for problems that it causes itself, either directly or indirectly, through its own limitations, nearsightedness, or neglect. For example, if you build your house where the wind can blow it over, then let it go to pieces while you worry about how to spell marmalade. What is likely to happen? Of course, anyone knows that. Yet when Owl's house falls down, what does Owl have to say about it? Pooh, said Owl severely. Did you do that? No, said Pooh humbly. I don't think so. Then who did? I think it was the wind, said Piglet. I think your house is blown down. Oh, is that it? I thought it was Pooh. No, said Pooh. For the chapter's concluding word about knowledge for the sake of knowledge, let's recall an incident from the house of Pooh Carver. Eeyore was busy intimidating Piglet with something he'd made from 3 sticks. Do you know what A means, little Piglet? No, Eeyore, I don't. It means learning, It means education. It means all the things that you and Pooh haven't got. That's what A means. Oh, said Piglet again. I mean, does it? He explained quickly. I'm telling you, people come and go in the forest and they say, it's only Eeyore, so it doesn't count. They walk to and fro saying, ha ha, but do they know anything about A? They don't. It's just 3 sticks to them. But to the educated, mark this, little piglet. To the educated, not meaning Poohs and piglets, it's a great and glorious A. Not, he added, just something that anybody can come and breathe on. The rabbit came along. There's just one thing I wanted to ask you, Eeyore. What happens to Christopher Robin's in the mornings nowadays? What's this that I'm looking at? Said Eeyore, still looking at it. 3 sticks, said Rabbit promptly. You see, said Eeyore to Piglet. He turned to Rabbit. I will now answer your question, he said solemnly. Thank you, said Rabbit. What does Christopher Robin do in the morning? He learns. He becomes educated. He instagrates, I think. That is the word he mentioned. I may be referring to something else. He instagrates knowledge. In my small way, I also, if I have the word right, am doing what he does. That, for instance, is an A, said Rabbit. Yes, it's an A, but not a very good one. Well, I guess it must get back to tell all the others. Eeyore looked at his sticks, and then he looked at Piglet. He knew. You mean this A thing is a thing? Rabbit knew. Yes, Eeyore. He's clever, Rabbit is. Clever, said Eeyore scornfully, putting a foot heavily on his 3 sticks. Education, said Eeyore bitterly, jumping on his 6 sticks. What is learning? Asked Eeyore, as he kicked his 12 sticks in the air. A thing Rabbit knows. Ha! So there. I know something that Rabbit doesn't know, said Piglet. Oh, what's that? I asked. Well, I can't remember what it's called, but... Oh, yes, that's what's coming up next, I said. Oh, what is it called? Said Piglet, tapping his foot. Well, let's see. So tomorrow we're coming back. And tomorrow is cobblestone pie. I apologize for being so late. I apologize for some of the noise in the background. Because I was a half hour late, so people are starting to move where I live. And for a little bit of my stuttering today and repeating some things, because nobody's perfect, and I'm sure not. And we're all imperfectly imperfect together. And I love you all fierce, and thank you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me in the morning. Like I said, we're only halfway through the year. A couple days, it's going to be 6 months into it. This is, I'm so glad you did. This is a destiny year. Everything and anything is possible. And it's not stressing or getting upset over the things you cannot control. It's going within. And within your surroundings in your world, and changing your energy, and working on the things that you can control, allowing yourself to let go of all of the things that do not serve you, and to find a way in a world that's just crazy and angry and frustrated and hurting and all of the pain. figuring out a way within yourself to do what you need to raise yourself up, your family up, your children, and to be able to touch the world around you. There's this old saying, and it's so simple, and it's so cliche. It says, be the change you want to see in the world. Everybody is so good at pointing fingers, and they forget to look at themselves. So if we choose to look within and create the change that we want within ourselves, that we want to see in that world, it will radiate out and touch others. It all starts with us. Each one of us. Because we're all beautiful, amazing beings. We're imperfectly perfect together. And the human in me loves and respects the human in you. And that's why we're here. To live that human experience. To learn our lessons. And then to rise to the point where we're having that God and Goddess within us come to the surface. And that, my loves, is a journey. And that, my loves, takes more than one lifetime. But we have that within each and every one of us. I'm here to help you. I will be back tomorrow to read another chapter from the Tao of Pooh. And I am also here for anybody that needs to get a little bit of guidance, direction, who is looking, who feels stuck and looking to change their life, is going through some trauma or situations that have made them depressed or caused pain. Anything you need to do, I am here for you. All you have to do is direct message me or go to my website, www.oneheartonespirit.com. Book a session, whether it's a life path session, whether it's career, whether it's health, whether it's relationship, whether it's a crossroads. And a lot of us right now are seriously at a crossroads and trying to decide what's next. Whether it's a past life regression, a soul retrieval, a future regression, or a future progression, a next life, whatever it is that you're looking to do, mediumship, to connect with somebody that's passed on, or to take one of my classes, one of my courses that I do teach. Okay? I am here for you. All you have to do is direct message me and I got you. Otherwise, I will be here tomorrow morning and we're going to have another cup of coffee together and read from the Tao of Pooh. You all have an amazing day, and thank you so much for jumping on here and supporting me and the message, because I'm a medium on the mission. My life's work is to help you heal and live happy, healthy, abundant, passionate, love-filled lives. And I'll touch as many as I can and make sure that happens for the people who are ready and willing. And maybe I get the chance to help somebody that's really stuck to move further along their way. All right. And I'm glad that it was perfect for you, Mama. I'm glad. It's when we start doing that. I'm doing different series, guys. We're going to go through the Tao of Pooh, and then we're going to go through some other uplifting books from different modalities and ways of life. Because we're all connected. I love you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.